Hi, and welcome to this installment of the IEX Webstation mini video tutorial series. In this video, we will walk through the process to enter your schedule preferences. This is specifically for team members who have access to the availability point scheduling feature, or they work with the schedule bids and use schedule preferences as part of their schedule generation process. After logging into Webstation with your username and password, you will see the home screen. Go to Schedules on the left-hand side of your screen and then click Schedule Preference. This will open the Schedule Preference tool in which you will be able to create, modify, or delete any preference setting on your schedule. Here you can either choose a date range to establish the duration of the schedule preference you select, or default, which will set the schedule preference to any time frame. The first thing we would do is click on Add Preferences. This will display three tabs: Lunch Times, Start Times, and Stop Times. The Lunchtime tab will allow you to set your lunch schedule preference for each day of the week. You will need to select lunch times relative to my schedule start time or absolute clock time, which means your actual start and stop time of your schedule. For this example, we will select relative to my schedule start time. Now we select a day, in this case Sunday, and click on Add a Lunchtime Preference for Sunday. This will display your options, which are I would like to go to lunch as early as possible, or I would like to go to lunch as late as possible. We choose on I would like to go to lunch as early as possible, and then click Save. As you can see here, your preference has been saved for Sunday. You can also prioritize your preferences based upon days that you work. And this means depending on the priority number of your preference, the system will select which is most optimal for our staffing, as well as it will take into consideration your preference setting. For example, if you need to have lunch as early as possible on Tuesdays because you have medication you have to take, you would set that day's priority to 1. You can set a different preference for each day of the week by clicking on Add a Lunchtime Preference for each day. You can also take an already set schedule preference and default it for all days of the week by clicking on Use these preferences for all days of the week. As you can see now, it says all days. We now go to the Start Times tab. The process is identical. You first select the day you want to set the schedule preference for, in this case Sunday. Here we select I would like to start as late as possible option, and then click Save. As before, we choose a priority level, and you can also set this preference as a default for all days of the week. On the pop-up window, we select Yes. The third and final tab will be edited in the same fashion as the previous two. Thank you for your time and your attention. Goodbye. Please keep in mind that the purpose of this training series includes videos, manuals, and FAQs. Is to demonstrate the how-to in performing the various functions within the IEX Webstation tool. For specific processes, authorization, client-specific needs, and/or policies where you are located, please refer to your local management.